Nick Hawkins just come back from the St James's Park. Virtually, it was West Ham 2, Newcastle 3. Matt, the architects of our own downfall is a phrase used a lot, but today I think it's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I think definitely, and I think victims of our own success is another one that you could add in there, another phrase, you know. But well, first things first, mate. I mean, with all respect to everyone, I know we can get angry at the performance, but I think we need to take it easy with the meltdowns on Twitter. You know what I mean? We're West Ham. We're not the Invincibles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, we've become victim of our own success, mate. I mean, in the last 10 games before today, we picked up 20 points. I mean, it's not often we can say that, is it? Yeah. I mean, it was a tough result to take, though, don't you think?
Listen, it's tough, Matt. It's tough, especially when you gift them 2 goals, which I think was, which was, really poor from us. But I just think there's too much sort of onus being put on us, and people are sort of cackling at us now and all that. But fuck me, I don't think. How can you moan after a season like this? Honestly, how can you moan?
No, mate. I mean, yeah. To be honest, we're talking about the wheels coming off the bus. I think today one of the wheels came off, no? But we've got a spare tyre to put on. We need to see if that spare tyre can hold us out for the rest of the journey that we've got to run through, you know? If another wheel comes off the bus, then then the shit's going to hit the fan, you know? So, I mean, but like you said, the 2 goals today, maybe even you could say, I mean, the 3rd goal as well, mate. I mean, all 3 goals for me were avoided. To be honest, the red card and the 3 goals were avoidable. Like you said,
it's not your day. When one of your centre halves, jump in for a challenge, and then the other one spins it into his own net. When it was just to fucking slice your foot at it, and then you lose a man and a goal. It's always going to be tough from there, always. And to be fair to Newcastle, I know they haven't been brilliant this season, but that's a tough place to go, St James's Park.
Well, a couple of things there, mate. Steve Bruce set them up well today, to be honest. I mean, They defended I guess he set them up to defend deeply to force us to play in front of them, instead of pushing up a high line and allowing us to get in behind them because, we're so dangerous on the counter-attack. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Steve Bruce in general, but I think they did well in setting themselves up against us today, And to be honest, today just seemed like an inverted reality, to be honest. I mean, normally it's us that come flying out the gate, dominating the game. You've seen how many times now consecutively we put in those 3 goals in the first half or early into the second half. But we just couldn't seem to get going today, could we? I mean, and what can you really say? I mean, when it comes to these kind of things, we maybe don't have the players because of the injuries and because of the squad depth that we all know to change up that style that, okay, we can't play the counter-attacking football that we're so used to and been so successful. We need to maybe play a little bit more in between the lines. And today it just didn't happen, did it?
No, absolutely. Still in the chase? Still in the race?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, mate. I mean, look, Bonner's back, which is great defensively, I mean, because outside of Sufal, I don't really trust anyone else right now. I mean, it's a little bit difficult. Dawson, what do you think? Has to be dropped?
Well, he's got to be suspended first.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Mm-hmm. But I mean, who will come in? Balbuena?
I think he's got to be Balbuena. To be fair, I'm not a massive Diop fan. I'll be honest with you. I've never been. He's done well since he's come in, but I think there's too many mistakes in him. And I like a good old-fashioned, no-nonsense defender, and I think that's what Balbuena does well. I would have always had Balbuena. Just shows how much we're starting to miss people like Cresswell, Antonio.
I mean, Dawson. I mean, he did so well, dropped off a little bit. One thing he's always been a bit iffy on is one-on-ones, and. I mean, poor Ben Johnson. I like Ben Johnson, but he had a really tough game today. He had a so-so game, and then 0-0 in 30 seconds. Hero positioned himself wonderfully behind Fabianski. For that shot. Knew where it was going to go. Got it off the line, and then 30 seconds, a minute later, absolutely shocking and let Willock get in ahead of him for that header. I mean, and that, you know what, that was the worst thing about that is I think that really crushed our momentum. You know, I think if we hadn't let that in, maybe we were got on. But we missed Masuaku, no? Even though we get frustrated with his errors and his sloppiness, I mean, he just gives us that creativity, that little bit of ooh la la in the defense and coming out there, you know, a bit of cockiness and that bit of something different, you know, that allows us just to create, you know, especially as, like you say, we are missing so many players. And it's a real shame we dropped 6 points against these guys today, because in this season, you know, 3 points today, 6 guys in the season. But what do you think? Chelsea, we're going to do it?
You tell me.
Listen, you know what? I think Moyes will get back to the basics. I think he will. I think we'll get back to the basics. Like you said, get a couple of people fit. And I think today will have a lot to do with it, mate. We've got to root for a Chelsea win today, because the more competitions Chelsea stay in, you know, Champions League, the Cup today, the more distractions they're going to have, the more they're going to want to look after the players. And maybe that's when we can get in. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I think you're right. But, Matt, thank you so much, as usual.
Take care, mate. Great to see you.
And you.
Bye, mate.